Definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here.
I must be the greatest.
The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man.
MH.
Yes, he is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Here today, we're bringing you back inside the locker room, man. MH, you ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So, man, like, you know, they say all these little things, right? Like time flies when you're having fun, you know what I mean? And just kind of like the work you put in, you know, it's not work if you enjoy it or your passion, some shit like that, right? But we're coming to the end. I guess this will be our last locker room episode of this season, season 3. Well, I guess that's unless another guest cancels on us. So we've adapted to that. So you guys got a couple more locker rooms this year, but I mean, it's a part of the business, man. So jumping out, man, how you feeling about coming to a close of season 3, man? Getting to the end.
It's good, man. You know, the podcast has continued to grow, and like every year, kind of learned a lot about different people in different spaces in sports, and I think that what makes our platform unique. That we don't just talk about what's on the field from the playing and the coaching, but we learn different stories that are in and around the game. You know, as we mentioned in the intro. And on that, man, it's just a lot of laughs. Sports has been crazy over the last, 24 months. And in particular this year, as it's, I guess, getting back to whatever normal is post-pandemic. And so seeing the trends that are going on now versus when we started the pod before, the COVID-19, and then into the pandemic, we continued it, and then post-pandemic into where we're at now, man, it's just been a lot going on. So
you're calling it post-pandemic because Biden said the pandemic is over? Is that why you're calling it post-pandemic?
Oh, it's not a pandemic anymore, right? I mean, people still sick, right? But I don't know if it's called a pandemic, right? Am I wrong? Am I right?
Biden said the pandemic was over. I didn't get any other official notification.
Nobody else gave it notification.
I didn't get you. What's your little dude? The little dude, Fauci. I didn't say it. I didn't see the press conference from Fauci. So
I can get toilet paper, and there's water everywhere.
Water everywhere. Well, not in Mississippi. I mean, that's a whole other thing.
Timing.
Right.
I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to wear a mask anymore, at least on the airplane. So, to me, I think, I mean, it's kind of back, right? We ain't missing no games. When's the last time you seen somebody miss a game for in sports for
no such thing? And like even
protocols.
Because hold on, wasn't like a couple of weeks ago someone said that they were, I don't know if it was basketball or football, but then someone said they had the flu. Like, hold on, man. Now we saying it's the flu.
Oh yeah, we back to common colds. We not even,
right.
We don't even call it that. We don't test for it, nothing.
I can't even remember, but it was a game where someone's like, "Yeah, he has flu symptoms." Like, hold on,
we back to flu-like symptoms. Yeah. We done with that, man. That's we post-pandemic.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna say post-lockdown until Dr. Fauci, the CDC, comes out.
Joe Biden said it, man.
Biden did say it. So it's a wrap. But no, man, you're right, man. A lot of stuff, man, just over 3 years, man. So definitely looking forward to, what that future holds, man. But it may be too early to this. We're going to jump around, man. This is like, kind of like a wrap episode. So we get to have a little fun, little let our hair down. So speaking of hair down. Right? Like, how was that experience for you, man?
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know, I came back for about a month and a half with a nice cold fade. So
what episode? We got the episodes, but yeah, you had a cold one though.
I had a cold one on, man. The process was intense. I put it that way. We can start. I think it's episode 20. If you have time, go check out your boy's hairline, Chris. But yeah, man, the process was intense.
Mm-hmm.
It was It was good, but man, going to sleep with do-rags on again, man. I'm done with that, man.
You done with that's so damn you answered the question for me because I was gonna say, are you bringing it back? Is that like an annual thing that maybe once a year you bring it back? I mean, can you go through that pain, every once a year, you know what I'm saying? Just to stun on them. Because you was looking wavy, especially when you was leaning down in the camera. We was doing that.
Cold, man. Nah, man.
One and done?
It's the one and
Calipari
done
over
thing,
there?
man. It's just going to sleep, man. And then, it's basically like a weave, right? So
well, then it was the preparation in the morning. Took you an extra 5 minutes to get ready in the morning.
I'm saying, and patting the hell out of my head because I'm itching at night. I just couldn't do that. It was a wrap for that, bro. So I'm good with the baldy. I think this was God's plan to say, hey man, just let that shit go, man. Just be who you are.
Come as you are, huh?
Correct. So I'm all good, man. Sometimes there's a little part of me that I get a little jealous, man. You come on here, man, and the taper's clean and the lineup's crisp, and I'm just coming on here with beads of sweat off the top of my head. Sometimes I'm getting a little jealous, but now those days are over. I'm good with it, man. Let's just get the hat game right. I can grow a beard. I can grow a beard out, so we'll just keep working on that.
Yeah, you got a cold beard game, so cold beard game. Need to get the beard sponsors back in rotation.
Facts.
That's what we need.
Facts.
All right, I'm gonna start off with this one, and then you can chime in because this is definitely your year to chime in on this shit. But we always talk about things when we start the seasons off when it comes to those appropriate times. And we both play football, still love the game of football, on all levels. So, we talk about our teams, and like if you're just now listening, which welcome. I am a Steelers fan, and your boy MH is a proud Dallas Cowboy fan. And if you're listening to this in the past, I mean, yeah, and it's been a season or two, we're going to be better by the time you listen to this. But right now, my Steelers are hurting.
Traded your boy.
What's up?
Y'all recently traded your boy, man.
Claypool's no longer a Steeler.
Yeah.
So he's a Chicago Bear. I didn't get the text from my brother, who's a Chicago fan. When Khalil Mack went to the Bears, his brother texted me like 6 a.m. because he's on, East Coast time. He didn't give me the text for Claypool, so I guess he's a wait and see how that's going to affect this team. But yeah, so Claypool's no longer a Steeler, and I came into the season right. I'm like, you know what? Good culture. Still have Tomlin. We got Brian Flores. So I was thinking like, damn, you got another former head coach in the mix. Our OC still is terrible, but I had promise, I had belief, and we're fucking trash, man. I don't know if we're gonna. I think this is gonna be Tomlin's first losing season, man. You know what? Just get it out the way, so it's no longer a thing. We'll keep it moving. But it's all my hopes and dreams of this season is I can't even watch it. It literally it pisses me off to where I can't watch the games anymore because yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. I can't even watch the games anymore, man. It's just bad. It's bad. So maybe when Watt comes back, we can win some of these close games that we should have won at Miami. We should, but anyway, it's not we didn't win, so it wasn't we should have won. So whatever. And then there's a flip of the coin. So I'll pass the mic to you, brother.
I mean, it's all good, man. I think there's it's a life. Kind of we know this. We've lived life long enough, man. There's peaks and valleys, and the seasons are just in the valley right now. It's all good, nothing wrong with it. Everybody has to go through it at some point. So y'all just in the valley right now. But I told you this earlier, so I don't. You shouldn't be too disappointed about this. We knew this was coming, right? We just touched on that. We knew this was coming. But there's always room. In that great state of Texas on that bandwagon, if you want to,
I'm okay.
If you want to,
I got 2 teams already. Bandwagon. My team and the local team, so I'm good with that right there, man.
I agree.
We don't even want to talk shit. We don't even talk about that, man. Like,
With the
It's
local team?
Yeah, I'm just in the valley right now. I'm in a
Yeah, we're in
hello.
the valley.
I'm in the valley, like so. The comeback is going to be serious. How about that?
It's gonna be. There's a lot of football left, man. I mean, we're recording this, November 2nd. Who knows what happens by Thanksgiving? And then after Thanksgiving, who knows what happens? It's football. It is a sport that injuries are a part of the game. So, I'm not wishing injury on anybody, but circumstances happen. So who knows what happens? Maybe the Steelers, fix it. There's a lot of football left. So who knows? I don't see it. I don't think it's likely.
Right.
But, who knows? Crazier things have
So
happened.
you disappearing on me.
Oh, my bad.
There we go. Your Cowboys didn't make any moves during
Trade
the trade
deadline?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they don't need anything. They're a solid Super Bowl team as they are.
Yeah, I mean, out of I mean, a receiver, might have been interested. I know they were looking at Brandon Cooks
That would have been a good piece.
from the Texans.
Been a real good piece.
So that would have been cool. But I think they fine, man. Like they got a lot of depth on the defensive line. They did make a move. Big Hank that was here. And with the Raiders, he's over there. Jonathan Hankins, he's with the Cowboys now. So he's going to add some depth to the defensive tackle spot.
That defense is cold.
They're good, man. They're really good. And as long as Dak, we don't put too much on his shoulders to do too much, and we, hand the ball off to two number one backs essentially, and Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, I think they'll be fine. Defense and running the football wins championships when it gets a little cold outside. So I like the formula. This might be the year, man. This
I was waiting for it. And you did not disappoint.
I mean, this might be the year. This might be it. Buffalo's good. The Cowboys gonna be good. It might just be a repeat, man, of what happened when I was a child. So yeah.
From my day job perspective, I hope that happens. If that happens, it would be a great Christmas for your boy.
I'm sure it will.
But
we're gonna do that for you. They're gonna do that for you, man.
Both sides. I mean, I'm fairly confident one side. But
Cowboys side, right? That's what we're talking about. NFC side. I don't know what's gonna happen to AFC. Like I said, the home team could get real hot over the next, 10 weeks or so, and then things may really be changing. So I don't know. We'll see.
So what's great is I like the way we just flew these things. So didn't we have a prediction show? And you predicted the home team.
A home team in the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals.
Man. I don't know why I was drinking Kyler Murray Kool-Aid. Probably because everybody was on Kyler Murray, mainly Gene.
Well, Gene was me on him, like on his helmet.
Man, Gene boy. God.
Gene came with the picks. So I was thinking about because it's so funny. Call of Duty came out yesterday or today. Mm-hmm. So I was gonna put out a meme or something to see if his production goes down.
Don't do that, man. Don't disrespect that, man.
I'm not gonna disrespect that because Gene did enough disrespect.
He disrespected him, man. So I think it was a little bit of we had taped that episode or that live.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it was live,
right before. And so I was like, man, Kyler Murray gonna do this. Matter of fact, I'm picking the Super Bowl.
You said you Charles Barkley.
All out of spite. Yeah, that's why you don't do things over spite and emotion. So
no, and I mean that's where we come from, right? Like our whole show and platform is to support. I mean, we crack a joke or two, but ultimately we definitely want to support. So you're coming from a supportive nature, but
Gene's title of his episode is episode 6 of season 3, understanding the game. And so I was like, man, Gene, you're not understanding Kyler Murray's game right now. So I think the little bit of that made me, not made me pick Kyler Murray, but I wanted the Cardinals to do well. There's still a lot of football left, but they're not doing as well as I thought they would.
Nah. Them playing the home game in Arizona is not looking very strong.
Yeah, I mean, currently, it's
currently. But like you said, I'm gonna go with you. There's a lot of football. A lot of football
left. And if they're not winning in real life, we'll win on Madden. So
there it is. And my pick's not looking too good on the other side either. Like I had Tom Brady, and we know what the GOAT's going through.
Circumstances, man.
Hey, there's some unseen circumstances that you don't know about that affect the game. You know, whether
I have a
it's
different theory. I'm not getting into his personal life, but I have a
Okay.
different theory than what everybody else. Because you know, like the common thread is like, oh, he chose football over his family,
Mm-hmm.
and I just think it's opposite. I just think he was home for a little bit, but you know, Tom Brady has Tom Brady on the football field, and maybe she was like, "Hey, man, go back and play, bro. Like this, you
Nah,
bothering me."
my stance is he's like, fuck them kids.
No, that's his kids, man. There's something about your kids. He ain't gonna do that too.
No, man. No, he would. I think he did love it. It was I think it's a little different when you like just at home and you don't have that.
I mean, it does matter. You know, it matters when you just have that. You know, he strikes me as a guy that has a routine and the flow, and
Yes.
when that is off, it probably is going to mess up a lot of things for him. So I'm praying for you, brother. That's a lot to go through.
I mean, we even talk about this, right? Like even, doing this show, like we all have other commitments, right?
Mhm.
And doing this show, long as we're in flow with it, it gives us that kind of like, okay, this is what we have to do. This is kind of how, we do the research and pick the people, blah, blah, blah. So having that and then not having it when it's been, a part of his routine in his life, it's definitely tough to adjust to. And some people, I mean, it even goes into what we always talk about, right? Like people leaving the game in itself, like that process of getting acclimated to regular life. No one's really found that, what is it, that 100% way to do it, because
Right.
if someone did, they could sell that process for a lot of money and make a lot of money, because all athletes, quit, come back, have a hard time adjusting and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, he got doesn't he have a deal with, was it Fox or NBC?
yep.
So I mean,
Fox, I believe.
yeah, something like, I guess there's nothing like playing. So we'll hope everything works out.
And yeah, I hope because AB's doing the most right now. So
Man, AB.
that's your boy though, man.
Can I say that out? Can I say that out loud anymore? I like AB, but man,
Yeah, you can say that.
do people take you serious if you say like, man, I like AB? They're just like, okay.
They probably give you that kind of like, what?
Interesting.
Like, yes, very much so. Interesting. No, because just him and the whole, I mean, his whole situation, right? We've gone through his whole process from being a great Steeler to coming back when people didn't think he was going to play anymore. Like the dude punted the ball and dang near knuckled up with the Raiders GM. You didn't think he was coming back, and then dude won a Super Bowl, right? So, yeah.
And then he throwing clothes off in the middle of the stadium. So
yeah,
there's a lot going on, man.
A lot going on. And then for him to partner up with with another individual that's not in sports, but he's in entertainment, and they formed like a whole, movement to buy the Denver Broncos, and now we see where Donda Sports is right now. It's not doing so hot.
Not seen better times.
Seen better. And I mean, to have like Aaron Donald as one of your stars, that immediately made him legitimized, right? Like you couldn't laugh at it anymore. And then I think, was it his school? No, I never got the basketball part. Was that a league? Was it a school? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's like a academy. I think
A low cap, got you.
I ain't gonna say that. It was like on those same lines of what like IMG is. It wasn't to that degree, IMG in Florida, but I think maybe that was some of the
model
goals,
or kind of like
model to build out. I was gonna say my boys from they're from your home state, Ohio. What was my Bishop Sycamore?
Bishop Sycamore.
You don't remember Bishop Sycamore?
Yeah. I hope it wasn't on that. It could have been on that model.
Well, I mean, it wasn't accredited, there was no accreditation.
They got on ESPN.
They got on ESPN.
It got on, yeah, that's crazy. And people let that slide, man. People let that slide.
Yep. Do your research.
Do your research. Because there's not too much information. We really added the live shows this year, man. It was something that we kind of picked up a little ways through season 2. We always look to kind of create, something to expand this platform and really kind of give back to our audience, but also provide something entertaining. So, we did a couple live shows at the end of season 2 and really got, consistent and did those monthly this year. So those we had the range of spectrum conversations, man. Is there any topic that was just a topic that was memorable for you or that you just laughed a lot of? Because like some of them I can't decipher which ones, like which was in season 2 to season 3, because like we had some main characters that always pop up in our live
Always.
show.
Yeah, so I mean, Ben Simmons, that's like, I feel like that's like a running joke in the NBA and on our lives about
Facts.
Ben Simmons' production or lack thereof.
Mhm.
So I think that's been a common theme, and I think it's always funny. And I think this was season 2 about some of the places that I've experienced in life. Just being a military brat, man. I've lived a couple places, so that always cracks me up. And on a different tune, like I've learned a lot. Really, I know about HBCUs, but I didn't have that experience going to school, and just hearing, Gene, as I mentioned, hearing his experience about HBCUs, and then obviously Prime of what he's doing with HBCU athletics, man. It's just been cool to kind of learn a little bit.
Yep.
And the real cool thing about the lives is like sometimes I just sit and I just listen for a while, right? And I think we both do. We have the topics that we want to go over, and our guests kind of to some degree carried the conversation a little bit.
And that's what it's for, right? For them to drive it a little bit, right? Like
exactly.
What aren't we covering? Because we do ask that at the end of these, like, hey, what do you want to hear? And sometimes we get stuff, but once you have people go in and like, we're sitting and having, people do spark up, and that is great.
Yeah, that, and then I think there's other platforms, but I think we've done a better job this year in this season of really advocating for women in sports. We've talked about the W probably more than we've talked about the NBA to some degree. And so
I agree with that. Kind
of learning about that, and ways that we could support and the growth of the W since the onset of it. Those have been some of my favorite topics within the lives.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely support our hometown Aces.
Chelsea Gray, cold.
Love us some Gray. We didn't get that challenge with buckets. He was a little.
Scheduling, but he'll be back next year defending. He'll get his ring, and maybe we'll see him at the ring ceremony. We'll get him bright and early.
Right now, just like, hey, we let you know right now that challenge still stands. You know what I'm saying? MH wants that Intercontinental belt.
I gotta get that championship belt. I need that.
But no, we did talk about the W a lot, which is great, right? And I think we talked about it from a looking to understand. We had great, we had Kalani, who works for, KD, who works for the Aces. We had, Deandra, who's marketing for them, and just we have Coach on, just different people. Well, 2 coaches, right? We had Coach that coaches locally here, Las Vegas, and then we had Coach Reese, who does professional coaching, but she's had her time coaching. So it's just good to talk about those different topics. One that kind of came up twice by 2 different people unopposed was how they could make the WNBA better. And it's funny, I was thinking about it because something came up on social. They had I think it was a girl from JSU, their basketball team, Jackson State. She did a drop step and dunked, and we were just talking about how that part of the game is getting more athletic. And there was just some I don't say controversy, it was just some thoughts from 2 different individuals from 2 different lives that don't know each other, that their suggestion was to drop the rim. And boy, the faces, we should just do like a screenshot.
Yeah, we should have.
They said that. And like, I think, I'm not gonna speak for you, I don't think that's the way to go, to do that. And I think it's a little late to do that, because there are some other sports that do different things but I think the ball is smaller is the only thing that's like different, and that makes sense, right?
Yeah, the game's a little shorter too.
And the game's a little shorter. So there are things, but like the nuances of it, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you changed
I
that.
think it's a little late, and nah, I don't. I said, some of the skill set is so good now, and there's a lot more. I think you brought it up that last year was like the highest number of dunks in the W since the start of it. So obviously, women are getting. I wouldn't say, yeah, they get more athletic, right? More of them are playing. I think the game is getting a little younger and faster too. When the WNBA started, MVP what was it, Cynthia Cooper, she was like at the latter stages of her career.
Right.
Obviously Cheryl Swoops was the same, and Lisa Leslie, they was all kind of getting towards the end of their career. And so now there's like a new crop of women in there that just play the game a little differently, and they play much like anybody else plays. I
And not only
do
that,
sometimes Chelsea Gray do be diming off like cold, and then like
they ain't ready.
it does miss something when that Mike and drill layup is there, but it is what it is. Like
You brought
I
that up.
shouldn't laugh at that. I shouldn't laugh. But
You should definitely laugh at that, and everybody who's listening should get a couple chuckles off of that. But because it is bad, like it be
but
cold, like dime.
I'm talking about no look, sham god, throw that, and it's just like,
and then they fumble the bag, like
slap the backboard layup. Nah, you gotta pull your knees up, Shaq with that. Like doesn't finish that off right. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Well, and I think one other thing that I want to point out, man, with that is it's a different progression now, right? Like the league started in 97.
Yeah.
96, 97. So now you have people, it's like, oh, I have a end goal, right? Like before, like when we played ball, it's like, oh, I want to get to the league. The league was defined, like that's a goal that we wanted. Before, it was like, oh, I'm gonna maybe play in college and maybe go to the Olympics. But it wasn't like I had an option of, and then even overseas. But now it's like, no, I want to go to the WNBA, like, and hopefully, there's that whole pay scale and that things. But I think just having that defined endpoint or goal is, affecting people to put a little more in their craft. So,
right on. I mean, Monica from Love and Basketball, like at the end of the movie, it was like the first year of the WNBA, right? She had the ball on, and that's after her feet was hurting somewhere else. Yeah.
What'd they say? I'll pass the ball to you.
Right. So,
all right, man. So, learned a lot. What was one of your maybe top guests or top moments just kind of off of this year?
I mean, I don't want to rank anybody, or I think
it's not ranked, but because we're happy for everybody that comes on. Absolutely.
Right. No. All of our guests was cool. Like I think Marcel Reese being on, I thought it was really cool. Marcel Reese played with the Raiders, undrafted. Was a Hall of Fame, or not Hall of Fame. He was a Pro Bowler. Kind of had a different trend to the game that we're seeing now, but he was kind of doing it before everybody was doing it, about just kind of being the utility guy. But hearing what he said and how he Al Davis told him that, hey, you're going to be a Pro Bowler and an All Pro at this position, and then him fulfilling it slightly after Mr. Davis died. But it was just like, wow, that's crazy. And then now taking it off the field, and then as he's a exec for the Raiders, I just think it's really cool. I think he has a real cool story, progression, and he's a young dude that's used his athletic profile and his athletic platform in the right way. We always talk about we don't always talk about it, but the media, some of the bigger media, always have that external story of, they don't go with their money and they don't know what to do after they're playing, all those type of things. And he's a good example of that's not everybody's story. And he's building it the right way. So I think he was a great guest for us, and one of my my favorite ones. And then I don't want to take away from you, but seeing your boy Mr. Damon John on was just pretty like, dang, that's cool too. I remember being clowned for wearing peanut butter, and I remember had the feeling when I finally got a real FUBU in line. And I didn't have that PB. I didn't have that peanut butter. I had the real real FUBU. So that was really cool, like a pinch yourself type moment where you kind of that's just two of them. I got a couple more, but I wanted you to go some of the guests that was really cool to me.
I think for me is looking at it from a collective thing, right? The areas that we touched, right? Like, because Black Sports is like, football, basketball, base, we had some, we had Adrian Johnson, we had the boy, the pro, the pro cornhole player on the scene,
For real.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's done. And then Yusef, he's looking hopefully soon to be a professional lacrosse player, right? So just really being able to shine the lights of seeing us do some things in different markets that we're not used to.
For
I
sure.
think those are the things that are like really get me excited for how we continue to hopefully grow, introduce people to different things. You know what I mean? So I think those were definitely some highlights. And then of course, a pinch me moment is to get Kurt Menefee on, right? Like, I mean,
For sure.
that in itself, right? Like we see him every Sunday, and then now just kind of hearing the other things, but just his perspective, right? Like, people joke about you traveling, but the part of traveling is being, and we kind of talked about this during show prep, is the experiences. And I think people can be shaped in all different ways if they had different perspective or experiences. And I just think that's the one thing I really got from him on his show, because he's been over to, like, I forgot what the count of countries he's been to, but he just really talked about, being there and then, experiencing as a local and then things that he was just kind of become aware of. And I just think that makes you a well-rounded person. So those are like, just some of the highlights, I guess, from our guest. And like I said, all of our guests bring something. They all drop, like, we learn, and we talk about this off camera as well. We learn so much with people's process and what they did and like their perspectives, especially the HBCU thing, right? Not being, not going through to one, but being able to share this with our audience. So that's something that maybe they think for in the future of if they're getting a accelerated degree, to think about doing it at an HBCU, right? You can get your master's or a doctorate at one of these universities, or these, these people were starting young families, right? So kind of keeping that in the back of your mind when you're, thinking about your child's education.
100%, man. And I don't want to, go too far about behind the scenes stuff, but all of our guests are just real people too. Like, we have the allotted time of, we talk for 45 minutes to an hour. But we probably spend another 10, 15 minutes off camera after and before the taping of the show, just talking to people and, talking to them about how the show is going to run. And then after is a conversation, and we have another, if we could air it.
Oh man, we could answer.
We could, there's a whole nother parts to those guests too. And, I think everybody's been real people. And I think that's a testament to, us as a culture, man. We got real people in everywhere.
No, that's definitely a fact. And I think about that the after show, or we definitely cover a lot, and they are real people, and we just appreciate them spending the time to share their stories, because it's necessary, right? Like, and for our audience to get part of that story. What are you looking for as far as just kind of like personally for just the rest of your year, man? Like, what are you looking to see how to wrap up the rest of this year? Any kind of goals you want to share? Not share, I get it. But yeah, because I kind of threw this one on you.
Yeah, man. I would say for me, and it's my own personal journey, becoming a father has taught me more about me. It's just been the greatest life teacher. And now my daughter soon is going to be 3 years old. I remember when we first started this, I was expecting, and then I had it, and now she's, has her own personality, can, tell me she doesn't like something, or she called me, I think, the Nightmare Before Christmas guy, and he said, oh, I don't know what his name is, but she said, oh, he's bald, like you bald like him, or whatever the case is. So, like, I don't know, just to see her personality coming out, it's just taught me a lot about myself. It's been like a mirror. I don't have any like specific goals as far as, career or anything like that. I just want to be a better father to her, honestly, and don't want her to want for anything. Just be better for her because now she understands like, hey, my daddy is this, or my daddy is not this, or my daddy is that, or my daddy's not that.
Right.
And I want her to, you know, have the best as her memory starts to form, like, you know, have the same type of feeling about me as I've had towards my dad still to this day. So that's just my goal. Just kind of continue to be a better father and just be a better person.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
What about you, man? Dang, that's a real deal. I didn't even get a chance to like really put no thought to it.
Yeah, I just hit that. You know, that's the part of, you know, just keeping it going, man. For me, just to kind of keep moving forward, right? Like, you know, the holiday time is not my favorite time.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So, you know, for though we don't share too much personal on here, you know, we definitely
Right.
keep it above board. But like the people that know me, know that like, and I mean, I'm gonna share it because I think some of our guests have shared this stuff. So I'd be
Right.
kind of a hypocrite not to share it. So I don't have my parents, right? So, and I've lost a brother, no, couple was 2 years now. And you know, so the holidays just kind of get a little tough, you know, when people are around their family and things like that. So man, I just want to keep moving forward with a positive attitude, you know, and just keep a smile, man. And some days is easier than others. But you know, you just keep marching forward, man. And then I think just to know that there's obviously a purpose for me to be here. So if I'm gonna
Right.
be here, might as well make the best of it, man. So I think for me, just to always keep moving forward, man. And like I said, this time with the audience, with you guys listening, you know, sharing, supporting, and helping us grow, man. Like I think, you know, hopefully filling a void or providing a voice to our culture is something that definitely helps keep me going.
100%, brother. Always praying for you, man. Like moving forward, man, like you said, man, like that's all we can do. And I think we definitely have a purpose for being here right now. It's something that I was you know, when I think I had in 5th grade, I had to write a optimism speech. All right, no, it
Okay.
wasn't 5th grade, it was the 7th grade. And this is actually my mom says this is like her proudest moment of me outside
Mm.
of anything athletics or anything. It's just I had something
And shout
like
out
I
to
made it
mom.
to made it to some like state championship because of my speech, right?
Oh
But
shit.
in
Okay.
the speech, I was like super optimistic. Like we just I think we like really are living at a special time in the world, honestly. It's just like we've seen this turn of the century. There's a pandemic that we've experienced that this is going to be like history, right? And there's all the things that's going on, man, now, and like how technology is changing things. And I don't know, I think when we look back at this, and hopefully we still doing this 30 years down the road, but like how much of life that we're going to see and that has changed, and that what we experience and give back to people that are younger than us has happened that we got to live and experience, man. So I just think it's a special time and purpose that we're here, man. So yeah, man, let's just keep moving forward, brother.
I like it. I like it, man. Well, I usually say final thoughts, but I think that was a damn great way to wrap it up, man. I think, you know, just for us, like I said, this is the last locker room, but we're gonna have a couple more episodes. So please, you know, hopefully you guys are following us. And you know, we're gonna take this time, you know, to spend with, you know, so our families and friends, you know, kind of take that little bit of a break, come back, recharge, and bring you guys season 4. So we got a few more episodes coming up. So definitely make sure you tune into those. And you know, if something really is hot and charged, you know, you may get
Yeah, we're
us
gonna
to
be back.
we may do a couple more little lives or something like that, you know, until the turn of the year, man. But anything else, MH?
I mean, maybe sooner than later, the way these Cowboys is looking, and the Knicks. I mean, they lost tonight, but they looking all right, man. They looking all right.
As proclaimed last year, the Knicks are back, I was told.
Yeah, they back. They back playing. They are. We said they was gonna be back. They playing now. They playing some regular season games.
There you go. There you go, man. Well, hey, man, as always, man, brother, I appreciate you, MH.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. We appreciate you, the people, for listening, man. I hope you enjoyed the show, man. Just a little bit of a recap, you know, season 3, man. Anything that you can kind of continue to do is just a blessing. So you guys have been a blessing to us. So hopefully you've been a blessing to you. Please, Subscribe. We drop a new show every Thursday. Please follow us on social media, Black in Sports, everywhere. And you know how we say, stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.